Welcome everybody to our Yin Yoga practice for low back care. My name's Eleni and I'll be guiding you today. Let's have one block, or if you have a bolster, you can use that as well. We're going to begin in our first posture, which is bridge on a block. So how we get into this pose, you'll keep your knees bent, have the heels underneath the knees, press through the feet and lift through the hips, and we'll slide our prop underneath the sacrum area. So make sure you feel comfortable and supported here. We don't want the block too high up. Couple options for the legs. You can extend the legs out, heels to each corner of the mat. If that's not comfortable for the low back, keep the knees bent and the feet flat, or you can extend the legs high. So once you find the variation that works best for your body in this moment and is comfortable for you, let's begin to tune in, allowing the mind and the body and the breath to arrive at our practice. Starting to slow down the breath. Noticing where your breath is landing. If you feel that you're breathing a little bit higher into the chest, consciously move your breath down into the base of the belly. So feel your breath, breathing deep into base of belly, letting breath rise into the rib cage and then into the chest. Perhaps if you'd like to set an intention for the practice today, feel free to do so, guiding the energy of the practice either inwards towards self or outwards towards someone or something. So let's give ourselves permission to be with ourselves here and now. You can always take body scans throughout our holds. Just notice if there's any tension or tightness. And we can use breath into these areas to release and relax. If you do have the legs high and they start to get tired, know that you can always bend the knees. Finding that quiet space here. Beautiful. Let's begin to release our pose. If the knees are bent, you can just press through the feet, lift through the hips, release the leg. If the legs are extended high, go ahead and release the feet. So come all the way down here, bring the feet wide as the mat and start to tick-tock the knees right to left. Little bit of windshield wiper here just to shift the energy. Gently hug the knees into the chest. We'll rock onto right and left. And then gently roll onto one side. And we'll make our way into our tabletop. Wonderful. Let's move into a few rounds of cat-cow. We'll inhale, draw the belly towards earth. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, belly draws down, heart lifts. Exhale, we round. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale back through neutral spine. Let's move into our swan series. So we'll draw the right knee behind the right wrist. Take a moment here in our full swan. You'll notice that gentle back bend. If you have any lifting of that right hip, go ahead and slide a prop underneath. Either a block or a blanket to support the hip so that the hip points stay level. When you feel ready, you can start to fold forward, relaxing the upper body. Here I like to use a block to rest the forehead. So this is a wonderful pose to help stretch through the hips as well. We know that the whole body is connected, so if one part of the body is stiff or tight, it affects the entire system. So when people have low back pain, doing a pigeon pose for a couple minutes can sometimes be a remedy for that. This is one of those poses that you may feel like the upper body organically moves closer to the earth. If that's the case, you can always rest forehead or bring the chest all the way down to the floor. However, we want to take only 2/3 our maximum here. So we don't want to push the body into the deepest variation. Yin is all about being gradual and slow and really letting the body unfold in the way that feels natural and organic. Noticing breath here. Where does the breath land? Here you can send breath to that outer right hip, or you can focus on breathing through the back body, breathing through low back, mid back, upper back and shoulders. Feel that gentle softening here. Where can we let go just a little bit more? Can we give the mind permission to soften? All right, we're slowly come out, releasing any props here. We start to walk the hands back. We're going to gently start to slide that left leg forward, so coming onto our seat, and then we'll take a gentle windshield wiper. If this is not satisfying for you, you can always come into a downward facing dog instead. take little movements through the hips. So take as long as you need in your counter postures. When you're ready, we'll start to come into our left side. Left knee comes behind that left wrist. Notice if you need some support for the left hip. Couple breaths here in our swan variation, inviting that gentle back bend. And then slowly start to fold when you're ready, perhaps using a prop if you like to rest the forehead. Let's observe how the left side feels different than the right. Sometimes when we're dominant on one side, it can be a little bit tighter. Each side of the body is its own unique journey, its own unique shape and posture. And so we give the body permission to use the props that we need that may be different than what we needed on the other side. Once again, we invite that level of softening, that layer of relaxation. Breathing into spaces that hold the tension or tightness. If the body feels like it organically wants to come towards earth, feel free to release any props here that you're using for the upper body and relax forehead or chest closer to earth. It really just depends on the day for me if my body feels like going deeper or if I feel like the shape is perfect as it is. Knowing that going deeper is not just a physical sensation or a physical movement, but also you can go deeper with breath. You can go deeper energetically. Deeper with the sensation of release. Lots of ways to actually go deeper in your pose and in your hold without actually moving. All right, let's slowly release. Walk the hands back, lift the torso. We're going to slide onto that left hip and then just swing that right leg gently around. Windshield wiper right to left. If you prefer downward facing dog here or child's pose, listen to your body and take what you need. Counter poses are generally suggestions. Wonderful. Let's make our way onto belly for Sphinx. You can have a block here if you'd like to. So let's get our form here. We'll walk the feet as wide as the mat if that feels comfortable for the low back. We want the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. You can also walk your elbows just a little bit forward if that's more comfortable for your low back. So if there's too much intensity here or there's any sensation of a pinch, please walk your fingertips forward and modify, or you can just rest in a crocodile pose, stacking the palms and resting the forehead. So in crocodile, it's still a back bend. It's just not as intense as Sphinx. So options here for the head. You can keep your gaze forward. You can also gently draw your chin into the chest and invite a gentle stretch through the back of the neck. Here, you might use a prop underneath the forehead just to support the head. So just make sure the neck is comfortable wherever you choose to land. And here we can move our breath down the spine into the base of the spine and the low back. So stay here as needed, or you can move into a seal pose. Walk your hands to the corners of the mat, lift the torso, gaze will be forward, or you can soften the gaze. If this again is pinching or having any sharp pain, we come down. So scan the body here. It's natural for us to clench through the glutes. So see if we can soften here through low body. Good. Couple more breaths here. Know that you can come down if you need to. Beautiful, everybody. Slowly release the shape. We move into crocodile pose, stacking the palms, resting the forehead. Beautiful. Palms coming underneath shoulders. Let's move into a gentle child's pose. Just snuggle the rib cage between the thighs here. Relax the forearms. Take a very passive child's pose here. Let's begin to release our child's pose. We come back onto the belly. We're going to move into our half frog pose. So I will demo with my left leg first. You're welcome to follow me here, although we've been doing right side first for the practice. It's up to you. I just want you to be able to see what the pose looks like. So here we'll start either left leg or right. And then completely relax the torso. So if you start here with me with your left leg, you're going to relax your right cheek, and your left arm is a 90-degree angle. Your right arm can rest on the other side. So this is our restorative frog. Option to stay here for the entire hold. If you want to explore a little bit of a more active variation, you'll come back into that Sphinx. Now, this will really be a case-by-case basis if this posture is safe or comfortable for you in your low back. Again, low back injury, pinching, sharp pain, let's come and take the restorative variation instead. Okay, we got lots of options. The most important thing is that you feel good in your body. So this one we won't hold as long as we have some of the other ones. So offer a couple more breaths here. Beautiful. Release. Stack the palms, release the forehead. Walk that leg back in, bend the knees, tick-tock the feet right to left, little windshield wiper. All right, opposite side. If you stayed with me, you're going to take that right knee out, left cheek lands. You can bend that right elbow and then find what's comfortable for your left. This pose always reminds me of a baby sleeping in a crib. A lot of us that are stomach sleepers end up in this posture anyway. So remember, the option is to stay in restorative, or you can come back into your Sphinx. So tune in, notice sensation. You can also take a few breaths in the Sphinx, half frog, and then come back down into restorative and rest. So even though we cue for stillness, we have to let the body adjust and shift in the way that it needs to. And sometimes that includes changing the shape of the pose, taking a different variation, modification. Sometimes it means grabbing a prop. So that's the beautiful gift of yin, is that it's very unique to the individual, which all yoga is and should be. We're all in very unique and beautiful bodies. Wonderful. Let's release that leg. Come back through crocodile pose and then bend the knees and windshield wiper the feet right to left. So moving onto our backs, take your time to get there. You can either extend the right arm up and gently roll over, or you can come through a seated posture and make your way onto the back. So hug the knees into the chest. Take a moment. We'll hug that right knee and extend the left leg out. Deep breath in. And then we exhale, draw the right knee over the left. Reach out with the right arm. So here you can always bring a block underneath that right knee for support. The back of the head can be soft here, or you can gaze over right fingertips. Generally, when we take our twist towards the end, we invite that knowingness that our practice is coming to a close. And sometimes just having that knowingness that we're moving into our master pose, Shavasana, will bring a little bit of a deeper relaxation. We'll gently release. You can draw that left knee under the right and then bring the knees back through the center. Give yourself a hug. Let's take it to the other side, extending the right leg out. Hug that left knee in. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, use your right hand to guide your left knee over. Option to bring a prop underneath that left knee, a block or a bolster, and then relax the back of the head. Left arm relaxes, palm facing up. Gentle release, slide that right knee in line with the left. Hug the knees, bring them back through center. Little rock here, right to left, or you can keep the feet grounded and just take windshield wiper knees. Okay, our last posture here before we take master pose, happy baby. We won't be here too long. We're just neutralizing the spine. So bending the knees, flexing the feet, grabbing outer edges of the feet or the shins, keeping the spine long. It's important that we take the variation where we can keep our shoulder blades grounded and back of head rooted. So if you feel yourself rounding to reach for the feet, slide your hands down the shin. Wonderful. Start to release. Let's take our final master pose. You have options here. Heels to the corners of the mat. You can also bring the feet wide, keeping the knees bent. Let the knees fall in towards one another if that feels better for the low back. So here we soften. Let the breath move into its natural rhythm. Feel the body connected to the earth here. Feeling the support, feeling the groundedness. Letting go of the practice. Stay here as long as you like to. Otherwise, we'll start to reawaken, wiggling the toes and the fingers. We might extend the arms overhead and point the toes forward, taking a full body stretch. Hugging knees into the chest and rocking onto one side. Coming back to our seat. Bringing hands to heart space. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today. Wishing you peace, love, and light. Namaste.